Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we have an update with the short-term lets debacle. As you know, there's about 32,000 operators offering about, I think it's about 200,000 short-term let beds. And, you know, in Scotland, including the bed and breakfast and things like that, and the lodges. And they have to sort of get these licenses, which nobody wants, nobody needs, nobody requires, and a lot of people are rejecting. Relatively few people have applied. And a lot of businesses are just going to close up and go. This will absolutely decimate the Scottish tourist industry. The SNP know it. They've been told. They know it's going to happen. They know the damage they're doing. And yet they cannot delay it or you know, they won't do anything. Because to change anything now would indicate that they were wrong previously. And as we know, the SNP can never admit to being wrong about anything ever. So they are going ahead with this. Now, there was a final plea going in from, I think it was the Bed and Breakfast Association, but the ministers have just sort of out of hand, didn't even look at it, just, no, we've got to carry on, blah, 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 you know, because it's important that we destroy this sector. We need a scorched earth policy. We can't have anything successful. And they denied it. Now, there is a vote tomorrow. The Conservatives will bring a vote in Holyrood. Whether they win it or not, it's going to be touch and go. I suspect possibly... yeah, I mean, it's maybe Fergus Ewing will probably vote against it. Possibly a few more. Possibly a few of the rural or ones where MSPs where the constituency relies on tourism. They may vote against. So it's going to be closer. I think it'll be a very close vote. But we shall see tomorrow when they have this vote. But they are honestly just driving the tourist industry into the ground on purpose. But we'll take a look at this latest sort of news on this. So before we go, could you make sure, if you haven't yet subscribed, now's an excellent time to do so. We need to grow the channel. We need the truth to come out. And you hitting that subscribe button and the like button does more good than you can possibly imagine because of the algorithm and the fact that we keep getting pushed out because we're a political channel. So, yeah, do please hit the subscribe button right now if you like the channel, and we will move on. So, ministers reject final plea on short-term lets ahead of the Holyrood vote. Because, of course, they reject the plea. They cannot be seen to have got anything wrong. And if they allow the plea, it means, oh, well, we got something wrong in the past. And, of course, they have this absolute hubris that they're never, ever wrong about anything, ever. So, yeah, of course they're going to reject it. You know, Humsey used to have, well, looked at it and went, yeah, okay, whatever, and thrown it straight in the bin. What else will he do? Because there is nothing else he would be willing to do. So I'll just bring that across a bit. So the Conservatives will tomorrow force a vote at Holyrood on whether to delay new licensing rules for short-term lets, potentially leading to a backbench SNP rebellion. I think it certainly will. Certainly Fergus Ewing, we know he probably will. But there might be a few others, because you're going to have the odd SNP that's in a constituency that absolutely, or SNP, MSP in a constituency that absolutely relies on tourism, and to be seen to be voting for this and actually destroying the tourist industry in their own constituency would not be good. And so I think there may be several that will join Angus Robertson in saying, no, we need a delay. And if that's the case and it does go through and they do get the delay, then that will absolutely humiliate Humza Yousaf and weaken his already weak position. But it will show that they've got something wrong, which is good. Anyway, the Tories will use their debating time to urge ministers to pause the scheme, which has already been delayed 6 months, for a further year. Tory MSP Murdo Fraser said that despite good intentions, the unintended consequences for small rural businesses could be catastrophic if the rules take effect on October the 1st. They will. They will. There's tens of thousands of beds will go almost overnight. Whole communities devastated. Not forgetting, of course, that the tourist industry pays for itself in terms of the salaries and the update and the things like that. But a lot of the money goes into ecological work, you know, and the greener environment. If you don't have that money going in, the environment will go down. It can be quite damaging there. And of course, these little villages and things, if they run out of money and they're not getting the repairs, they start sinking down. And even if this is reversed later, people may not come because they're just not kept to a high enough standard. Anyway, the government said last night that the change would go ahead as planned because of their arrogance. The move coincided with more than 1,500 people working in Scottish tourism signing a final plea letter to First Minister Humza Yousaf asking him to postpone the change, which of course he will not do. The new licensing scheme is designed to regulate Airbnb style properties more rigorously in the same way as hotels and caravan parks, so why not bring in a specific rule for Airbnb style properties rather than your standard normal B&Bs, holiday lets, chalets, things like that? Because that's too complicated. Because they want a one size fits all. Because these people are too stupid to understand degrees of separation. Some businesses have warned the conditions are so onerous that they may shut down. And a survey by the Association of Scotland's Self-Caterers, the ASSC, found almost 2/3 of operators were considering leaving the sector over the change. And that would be absolutely devastating for tourism. First of all, people coming to Scotland won't get anywhere to sleep, so they just won't come. Those that do come and are managing to get somewhere to stay will be paying twice, if not 3 times as much, because market forces will drive up the prices. So that's money that's just gone there and not out into the wider community, into the bars and restaurants and things like that. It's money that is being stripped out of small local communities. It will devastate them. It will devastate the tourist industry. And it will cause so much damage and poverty and misery. And that, of course, is ultimately what the SNP want. They know this is going to happen, as I say, and they're pushing it because they want it. The veteran SNP MSP, Fergus Ewing, who is facing suspension for voting with Tories on a separate issue before the summer recess, has also called for a delay. Of course he has. Mr Fraser said ministers must see sense, listen to businesses and pause these destructive plans before it's too late. They never listen to businesses. That's the last thing they do. They listen to businesses, they may hear the truth. And that is not the SNP way. He said the scheme, however well intended some of its provisions are, is going to have huge and catastrophic unintended consequences if it goes ahead next month. That we can all see and which the SNP can see, and they know it's not unintended. It's entirely intended. It was designed to tackle problem city centre units, but B&Bs, guest houses and those seeking house swap arrangements will be hit with crippling additional costs and bureaucracies. He says there's a real danger that this will destroy small businesses and have a huge knock-on effect on the wider Scottish economy, which it undoubtedly will. Ministers risk repeating the mistakes of the shambolic deposit return scheme by ignoring the warnings of businesses and stubbornly ploughing ahead with fatally flawed policy. And he, of course, is right. The signatories to the final plea said the industry had always supported regulation and considered health and safety to be paramount. The ASSC's chief executive, Fiona Campbell, said the scheme was an impending disaster. Everybody knows it, everybody sees it, even the SNP, and yet still it proceeds. She said the message to the First Minister is loud and clear. Please listen to those who work day in, day out in our sector. Pause your scheme and work with us on a viable, proportionate and balanced alternative that won't cause untold damage to Scottish tourism. I would say untold and irreparable damage to Scottish tourism. But SNP Housing Minister Paul McClellan, also an idiot, said that there'd been ample time for operators to get ready, and there hasn't. And now he's going on about a load of old crap that it means nothing. Because nobody opens up a B&B business with the intention of harming people. And it's just a joke, isn't it? It's a joke. The funny thing is it's not funny. There we go. How's that? Because come the 1st of October, Scottish tourism is dead. There'll be whole communities utterly and permanently destroyed because of the pride and hubris of a bunch of elitist wankers sitting in Holyrood thinking they know best, thinking they want their cut of any business that's doing successful. It's not right that people can make money and that the SNP don't get their cut. They're acting like some Cosa Nostra, like some mafia protection racket. Give us your licence money. We want parts of your profits. We need that cut. That's what they are. They're no different. Anyway, I shall stop there. I shall come up and we shall round off the video. Thank you. So I hope Fergus grabs a few of his chums, some more of the more braver and backboned members of the SNP, people who look at their communities, look at their constituents and realise how damaging this is and say, actually no, we will give it a pause, and vote against it and win and humiliate Humza Yousaf. It will weaken his position, his already weak position. It will weaken it even more, and hopefully with the loss of Rutherglen as well, he'll be going into the conference in October with a very, very weak, untenable position. Just ready and plumb and ripe to be plucked and have a new leader imposed. Just to totally humiliate him. Here's hoping. Anyway, I hope this video has been informative. I hope you liked it and I hope it's worthy of a subscription. And I hope you also like to press the like button. That's also important. So until next time, stay safe, stay well, and if you can, do keep going. Do keep the tourism industry going. These little places absolutely rely on it. It is most important to them. So we've got to try and protect them as much as possible. Thank you and goodbye.